I'm Sarah Mooney. Sarah Marie Mooney. You kind of like scratch the Sarah and the Marie because that's like everybody like born ever. It's like Sarah and then like Marie. I think I can. My friend Donna's middle name is Marie. My friend Kelly's middle name is Marie. My mother's middle name is Marie. My middle name is Marie. There's a bunch of other people's middle names that are Marie. And I'm 19, and I'm 19 and 11/12ths, which means I'm almost 20. And I like to jog when I don't feel obligated to jog, which is more lately. I don't feel obligated to jog, so I'm really enjoying it. And I like painting. I guess that's good because that's supposed to be what I'm doing with the rest of my life or something. And so now I guess what I want to do is I don't really know. I'm kind of like, it's like I don't live in the moment. It's naive kind of to live in the moment, I think, because like our whole life is like a long moment. So I guess the way that you divide it up is kind of your things. Like a moment's relative to like each person. Like a moment's kind of an indefinite amount of time, and so I'm living for the moment that is my life. Like, I think I wish for being happy all the time, but happy is such an extreme sort of thing. I just want to be
Normal person.
Stable.
Like a normal person.
Not that I'm not stable. I'm clearly really stable.
Like a normal person.
OCD. Okay. And then there's Aaron.
I'm Aaron Mooney.
Okay, so Erin is like, she's like 22 now, but she's really 14. She's 22, but she's really 14. Like, she's,
This is my scepter, and upon my head I wear my helmet, the great Varangian helm of yore, and decorated with the symbolic power of the double-headed dragon of alchemical times, and the double-headed eagle of Tsarist Romania.
one time, well, so many times, Aaron does ridiculous things, but one of the good ones in the past year was that Aaron got really wasted one day and decided that she was going to drive home to Warren, PA, which is 300 miles across the state, and she's drunk, and
I can drive just as fine, I can operate machinery just as fine, drunk or sober, no difference. Sometimes it might even be better if I'm intoxicated. This is one of the conflicts that we constantly have with each other.
so she's going through a toll booth, but she goes through the Easy Pass. And since she doesn't have Easy Pass, the bar doesn't lift up for her, which means that she breaks the toll booth bar, and she's drunk, so she gets pulled over after she breaks the toll booth bar, and somehow Erin gets out of it. She gets the officer to pay her fee and continues driving back to Warren.
I was thinking that I wanted sanctuary in my own abode, away from these peons that I'm forced to interact with on a daily basis. It had reached such a point that I had become incredibly intoxicated just trying to cope with their constant idiotic behavior, and I could no longer deal with them being around me. So I got into my car, blasted some bolt thrower, went on I-95, went through an Easy Pass, no big deal, went home. It was fine. I was fine. Everything was cool. I got to go home. I got to be in my own chamber. Everything was fine. I don't understand what the problem is.
It's one of Erin's stories. Jacob and I. I need money, Jake. And then, Jacob, he could,
So I just don't really give a fuck about life. I hate computers. I hate leaving the house.
In a sense, we spend all of our time together, and we'll share, the same pack of cigarettes.
Sarah just doesn't let me out enough. She's always with Aaron. I never want to come out. It's always Sarah. She's always whenever she gets upset, I'm always back. I'm out again. Sometimes I consider life worth living. Sometimes I consider life worth living. Not a lot. I'm tired! I get up, I spend 4, maybe 5 hours in the bathtub until I get all clean. Then I fix my computer for 2 hours. And then usually either go to Woody's or get back in the bathtub. Sometimes I feel like I'm stable. Just really hate my life. It's tough being a closet homosexual.
So he likes to take things apart, put them back together. He knows everything about everything, even if he doesn't. He's wise beyond his years in so many ways, and then there's some ways that he's not. So he gets kind of caught up in them. But he seems to be picking up a little more every time I talk to him. Kind of, if I go like a few days without talking to him, kind of, he thinks a lot. He does a lot of thinking, which is really good. He and I have that in common. I'm Sarah, and I'm consistent, and Aaron's consistent, and Jacob's consistent, but to like third person, it's not consistent at all. Jacob's a recluse in his room, and I woke up this morning in a ditch in the middle on the side of a road. It makes me more aware of how a body's just a house for a personality, really. How can we live here in harmony? I don't communicate with them out here. I don't. And when you're subject to Aaron's drinking or Jacob's pain pill addiction or whatever I do, and it's really hard to maintain any sort of stability in my life. I'm working kind of on the core. I'm working from the core out on myself, sort of. So while I've got a lot of like ravel strings all over the place, like the center of this ball of yarn is kind of like compact and it's not going to fray as easily as the stuff on the edges. So while I keep making the same sort of mistakes, there's like kind of difference in the core that's being like more solidified, and so the frays keep getting snagged, but eventually they'll be wrapped up, or not completely, because if I am like a little ball of yarn and the center's tight, then I'm gonna keep getting snagged on everything my whole life. This is like the best thing I could be doing right now after like my really shitty week is like you being here and like videotaping me, like, yeah, Sarah, just like talk about yourself and like read me poems, and I'm like, wow.